Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Google Pixel 10 and kind of compare it against the Google Pixel 8a and see how these two phones kind of compare. Now, the thing I can definitely tell you is that with the Google Pixel 8a and the Google Pixel 10, these are both very, very good phones. Clearly, the Pixel 10 is probably the one that's a little better, but the Pixel 8a still has a lot of really good stuff going for it. I think it is a really nice phone as well. So we're going to go and see which one is the better one for you. First things first, if you do want to go ahead and pick up some of these phones that I would recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular phones. The Google Pixel 8a originally came out back in 2024. So this phone, it's not the latest and greatest phone anymore, but it still is like a good phone for the most part. And if you're going to go through and pick up a device, this type of layout and this type of panel still does a pretty good job for the most part. On the front side of the Pixel 8a, you're going to be getting a 6.1-inch OLED display. So it's that standard type of OLED display. And, there's not really anything super cool or unique about this type of display, but I do kind of like it because it does give you 2000 nits of brightness right there. So I always feel like that right there is actually kind of a nice thing going on for this particular device. You're also able to go through and still maintain, 120 hertz display on this thing as well. And you have to remember the Pixel 8a, it's not supposed to be like this super big flagship with a bunch of crazy features inside of it. It's supposed to be kind of like an average type of display. It's supposed to be an average type of experience. And like I said, it's not supposed to be giving you anything like super crazy. It's just a, average type of phone across the way. Now with something like the Pixel 8a or Pixel 10 on the other hand, this particular phone is going to be giving you a little bit of a different type of layout. It's going to be giving you a bigger display. It's going to be a 6.3-inch OLED display. So it's already slightly bigger, but also it's also going to be basically giving you here another really nice thing. This particular device is also going to be giving you 3000 nits of peak brightness there, which that right there is such an awesome thing to have. If you're going to go through and pick up really any type of device, being able to go through and pick up a device like this that's going to be giving you that type of layout, I think is actually a really nice thing. And that right there is going to be a very cool thing that you're going to be able to experience from that particular side as well. So take it as you will, but if I'm about to go through and pick up some sort of a panel or pick up any sort of device, it is really nice to be able to go through and pick up a device like a Pixel 10 that's going to still be giving me, 120 hertz, a great build quality, and a really good type of display for the most part. So I definitely do think the Pixel 10 has some really nice things going on for it from that side as well. Now they're both giving you USB Type-C ports at the bottom. The back side is slightly different between both as well. So with the Pixel 10, this phone is basically going to be able to go through and give you, a standard glass back with the triple camera setup, which is a really nice thing to basically experience there. Where the Pixel 8a is going to be giving you this plastic back. So this right there is also going to be a slight difference because if you're trying to go through and get some sort of a device, getting something like a Google Pixel 10, it is going to be the one that's going to feel better in the hand. It's going to feel like a more premium type of phone. And definitely when it comes down to both, if you're trying to get the more expensive feeling one, definitely the Google Pixel 10 is going to be the one that's going to feel better. Both these phones give you wireless charging, and both these phones also give you some sort of bypass charging as well. But the Google Pixel 10 gives you actual reverse wireless charging, which is a really nice feature for that phone. Also, it's giving you this like MagSafe type of capability too, which is another really cool thing going on for that phone as well. So from that particular side, that kind of covers it up there for the most part. Now, on top of that, another really important thing to keep in mind here too between both are basically the cameras. So the Google Pixel 8a on the backside is giving you this dual camera setup, where the Google Pixel 10 is giving you this triple camera setup. So both of these particular phones are giving you similar types of, layouts, kind of. Obviously, the Google Pixel 8a is missing out on a camera, but the megapixel count is also all over the place between these. You're getting 4K at 60 frames per second on the back side. On the front side, you're getting 4K at 60 on the Pixel 10, which is great. But on the Pixel 8a, you're actually only able to get 4K at 30, which probably for a lot of people is okay. But I would love to have seen a little bit of a better type of capability here from something like a Google Pixel 8a. I think the Pixel, in this case is good. I think it'll get the job done, the Pixel 8a, but the Pixel 10 is going to be giving you a way better camera here. It's also just going to perform better. It's going to look better. And if you're trying to get the device that is going to make more sense to buy, then definitely something like a Google Pixel 8a, it just really isn't going to be as great from my personal experience from what I can see compared to something like a Google Pixel 10. So in this particular case as well, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to their software longevity, both these phones are going to be supported with software for quite some time. So that's always a really important thing to keep in mind here, because if you're trying to get the phone that's going to last for a longer period of time, then that probably is going to go towards something like a Google Pixel 10. This one is the longest lasting one right now. And if you're trying to go through and get the phone that's going to last for the longest amount of time once again, then definitely you're going to have to buy something like a Google Pixel 10 in this particular situation. But with that being said, the Google Pixel 8a is still giving you like a good type of experience at that as well. And I do think if you're trying to go through and pick up a device, I think a phone like the Google Pixel 8a, still going to be giving you software updates for quite some time. So I wouldn't let that deter you. But, there's definitely some other things to kind of look around between these two phones as well. Battery life wise, the Google Pixel 10 4970 mAh battery, the Pixel 8a 4492 mAh battery. So this right there is also another one of these big things to keep in mind here, because if you're trying to get the phone that is giving you the better experience here once again, then definitely something like a Google Pixel 8a might be the one that might be giving you an overall better type of experience in some ways. But the Pixel 10 is going to be the one that's going to be giving you the bigger size battery. So I'd probably say that one's going to be better, although it is giving you a brighter type of display. Sometimes that can cause some issues. But I think the Pixel 8a is probably going to not be as good as something like the Pixel 10. And finally, when it comes down to the performance side, this is also another really important thing to keep in mind here as well. Between both these phones, the Pixel 10 and the Pixel 8a, these two phones are very, very interesting for the most part. The Pixel 8a is going to be giving you this Tensor G3 chipset inside with 8GB of RAM, where the Pixel 10 is giving you the Tensor G5 chipset inside with 12GB of RAM. So this right there is also another really big thing to keep in mind here as well. Because if you're trying to go through and pick up the phone that is probably going to be the better one, the Tensor G5 inside of the Pixel 10 is going to be the faster, better performing one for the most part, right? I think we all kind of know this. If we're trying to get the phone that's going to be an overall better experience here, then definitely something like the Pixel 10 is probably going to be the one that would make more sense in my personal opinion. So from that side as well, I think that's kind of one of the more important things to keep in mind. Because if you are trying to go through and pick up the device that's going to be giving you an overall better experience, you're going to have to look at something like the Pixel 10 as being the faster, more better one in every single way. So to kind of sum it up, what I definitely will tell you is that a phone like the Pixel 10, I think, is probably the one that's going to make a lot more sense to go ahead and buy. I feel like that phone is great. I think it's beautiful. The Pixel 8a is a really good phone for the most part as well. But I'd probably argue that if you're going to go ahead and pick up really any sort of device, I think something like the Pixel 8a is still great, but I think I would rather recommend buying something maybe even like a Samsung Galaxy S25 or one of those types of devices. I feel like those types of phones probably make more sense to go and buy rather than these ones when it kind of comes down to it. So for me personally, that's kind of the way I see it, and that's probably what I'd recommend thinking about for the most part. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.